Namaskar. Good morning, dear devotees and friends. The Sunday morning, we'll be discussing about the Yoga Vasistha. Today, we'll be discussing about the vibration of Maya. Before that, let us start with this stotra. Dikaladi Anabachinna Ananta Chinmatra Murtae Swanubhuti Ekamanaya Nama Shantaya Tejase. I salute the Supreme Brahman, who is beyond all qualities, tranquil, beyond the limitations of the directions, space, time, or objects, who alone is the embodiment of infinite consciousness, and who is to be known only through the proof of one's own experience. Our Rishi Vasistha, he was talking with Sri Ramachandra. The Ramachandra, he was thinking about leaving the world. The Vasistha talked to him and said, this world that you see is nothing but your own creation. It is you that you are creating this world. How? Through your mind. We were discussing that, and today it's a life in this world. Be aware of the one undifferentiated pure consciousness as if vibrate and create the world, as air, breeze, they create the ripples on the surface of the tranquil lake. It is as easy as that, as if life in this world was created by one which is undifferentiated pure consciousness. So when you read like this, some people, they may say, how it is possible? It cannot be differentiated, it cannot be divided, but from that the creation is coming, and the millions are taking birth or taking the form because of that, and that is consciousness. And we can see there are many things which are not conscious. So many questions come, and some people can't answer those things and not very happy with the answers that is given by us. So they say, oh, there is nothing. So they completely denounce the existence of anything which we call as God. But that is not true. It is the consciousness that is why again and again in almost all the philosophy, in almost all the religion, they try to explain the creation. And some of the religions, they have made it very simple, and that is God has created. How? He just wished. And he created on the Monday and the Tuesday and the Wednesday. These they give the list. You have to believe it. But when you go for the argument, they are not ready to talk to you. So here in the Vedanta, they say no, you can always ask questions. Unless and until you are satisfied, you should go on asking questions, try to know about it, and there is no harm, there is no problem. But don't simply, without asking the question or analyzing the problem, don't simply say no, I don't believe in God. Don't say like that. The God is nothing but the pure consciousness which is all pervading, and the creation is nothing but the ripples that came on it, like the waves or the ripples on a lake or an ocean. Now the question is, why the ripples or the waves come on the lake or the ocean? Because of the air. Where from the air came? Now the air, when we are comparing the air that is creating the ripple, then what created the the creation on the mind of the undifferentiated consciousness. That, it says, it is a vibration of the Maya. The Maya is the power of God. It is always with God. And when it is inactive, we call it Nishkriya. And that time there is no creation. And when it is active, Shakriya. And that time creation comes. So this is also the power of God, this Maya, and the vibration. What is this vibration? And it says in the second chapter, 12th verse, the Rishi Vasistha is telling, Bhoga bhavanaya yati bandho dadyam abastujaha yaya upashantaya yati bandho jagati tanabam. Desire to enjoy, bhogo bhavanaya, desire to enjoy, though arise from the objects of temporary matter or vastujaha. So friends, we have to understand or vastujaha. That means the temporary matter, objects of temporary matter. This is very clear. Not that the object is not there. Sometimes when we say that the ultimate Vedanta, they say it is not there. That doesn't mean it is not there. As long as your mind is in that level, it is there. Like a child, a little girl playing with her dolls, she can hear the conversation of the dolls. She can hear the doll is crying and it is hungry. She can hear. She can feel. But we don't know. Why? Because we have grown up. Because our experience is completely different. Because of our realization of the truth that the doll cannot cry. It is inert. It is our realization, but not of the child. Now, the Rishi Vasistha, when he says abastuja, that means it is not negative, there is no bastu. Bastu is there, object is there, but it is purely temporary. And for us it is permanent. For us it is very, very lucrative, we can say, and to get the joy out of that. So desire, bhogo, bhavanaya. Bhavana means the chinta or the thought, we can say in Sanskrit, bhavana, chinta or the thought. But here, bhogo bhavanaya, desire, that is the thought to enjoy. What? Objects. And what is that objects? Temporary matter, abastujaha. When it is there, that bandha, that's called binds, and very strongly dadyam. Dadyam means very strongly. And bandha, it binds. Where? In the circle of birth and death. Not that it is coming with a rope and tying us, but actually it is our mind attached to that object. We cannot forget that object. We go on thinking about that object and we like to possess that object always with us. It goes on. Then we miss that, we lose that. Once again we go on getting that. It goes on round and round. It cannot stop. So that is, it says, and that is called the vibration of Maya. The bhoga bhavanaya jati bandha dadyam abastujaha. Now it says, yaya upashantaya jati. When this craving for enjoyment comes down, upashantaya jati, upashama, upashanta, that means that goes away. When the yaya, at the time when the desire goes away, yati bandha jagati tanabam, bondage to the worldly objects also become weak. Bandha jagati tanabam. Not that it goes away completely. Why? Once again, if the desire comes, again it will bind you. So it is not completely gone, it is not completely eradicated. That's why one should be very, very careful. And so many great souls, after practicing so many years of austerity, they get the power, they get that peace, that joy, some realization, but then afterwards, the people, they come, they start clapping, they start praising, again that Ahamkara, that is the root, you will come to that, and that Ahamkara comes back, and the great souls all again come down. Again there is, people should recognize me, people should know me, people should appreciate me, people should listen to me. That is the desire. No other desire, but these are the desires again. It is very subtle desire. But externally it is not there, but in the mind is there. Lokaishana, it says the Lokaishana, Loka Ishana. Ishana are the vasanas, desires. And Loka means this popularity. That is a dangerous thing for the spiritual people. So this is, it says like this, the desire to enjoy though arise from the objects of temporary matter, binds very strongly. But when this craving for enjoyment calm down, bondage to the worldly objects also become weak. In our previous discussion, we concluded saying that we shall try to understand the vibration of Maya. That is exactly what we are discussing. Now the question is, what is this Maya? In different occasions we have discussed about it, and we said no one can explain the Maya. As we cannot explain the Brahman, and we cannot explain the Maya too. So Shankaracharya says, Karyanumeya. You cannot explain, you cannot define Maya. But Karyanumeya. But you can, Karya, through the activities, you can Anumana. Anumana, you can understand that this is possible. So when it is possible, now a leaf of a tree, it is moving, vibrating. And we are not seeing anything else. But seeing the action of the movement of that leaf, of the tree, we can understand the air is blowing. Without the air, the leaf would move. So Karya Anumeya, we can understand, we can imagine, we can apprehend that there must be the air, and because of that the leaf is moving. Karyanumeya. Now we can understand that the leaf is moving towards, from the west to the east. It's all turning to the east. That means the air is flowing from the west to the east. We don't see the air, but we can see that. And we can feel the very comfortable in a hot summer when the cool breeze is coming. We can't see that breeze, but we can feel the comfort because that cool breeze. Karyanumeya. Through the karya, through the action, we can anumana, we can apprehend, we can understand. So Maya is like that. What are the karyas? It says the Maya, the actual object is covered by the Maya. And on that, your imagination is thrown. That is the action of the Maya through two activities only, two power. It covers and superimpose on that original thing something which I wish or you wishes. You wish, and that is also there. So that is the way it goes. Now I wish to see a person as a beautiful someone. I see that. Same person, if you are looking to that, you don't. So that reason that we can understand Karayanumeya. So the original thing is covered and you are not seeing the beauty that I am seeing that beauty. How it is possible? Because I am thinking. So here we can conclude in this way, I am creating from my mind. And what is that mind? It is the Maya. And how we are doing it? For the vibration of Maya. What is the vibration? It is covering the original thing and superimposing something else according to my thinking. And result, the mind which is by nature tranquil, unperturbed, calm, will start vibration. Why? Because the object of this world on which the mind has gone and started reacting either favorably or against. So by this way it works. That is called the vibration. How to understand Maya's vibration? The waves of desires that toss the mind are the vibrations of Maya. So what is the vibration of Maya? Desires. Then from the desire, where the desire for what? It come like this. Where from the desire come? If they give the answer, then the Shankara, Adi Shankara says, Prathamo Vikaro. Where from the desire is coming? From the Prathamo Vikaro. What is that Prathamo Vikaro? Vivek Churamani, 298 verse. I am not quoting the whole verse, only one half line. Tesham eva mulam prathamo vikaro bhavati ahamkara. Tesham eva mulam. Mulam means the root. The root, that is, the desire is coming from. Desire is the problem for all of us. Now those who like to get God realization, have the God realization, or to have the Atma Darshana, revelation of the Atman, for all of us, it is the desire that is the problem. Now where from the desire is coming? The desire is known as the vibration of Maya. And what is this Maya? We can feel it through the action up to this. But the vibration or the desire is coming from where? Prathama Vikara Moolam. What is the Prathama? The first Vikara, that the transform, what is that? Is the root that is called Ahamkara. The first modification, Vikara, which is not original, it is taking some other form. So that first modification of nescience is called the Ajnana. Now what is this Ajnana? Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna very clearly said when the Master Mahashaya first met him. He said, what is Ajnana? To see many. What is Jnana? To realize one. So that is the Jnana and Ajnana, the knowledge and ignorance, or the nescience, or the wrong knowledge. That is called Ajnana. To see many. So this is the basis of the Vedanta, basis of the Hinduism. The one, that is God, and that is the Brahman, and many, that is the world, that is the creation, and that is all wrong knowledge. So where from the wrong knowledge is coming? From my own ego. Tesham eva moolam. All these desires, where from it is coming? Tesham eva moolam, the root of those desires, prathamo vikara bhavati. That is the first modification, first transformation of the nescience, of the ignorance, and that is known as ego, Ahamkara. So this nescience or the false knowledge. And now this, what is this Ahamkara again? The Ahamkara, where from it comes? I have a body and I have a mind. The body is gross and the mind is subtle. And the Vedanta will tell the mind has 4 compartments: mana, buddhi, chitta and ahamkara. Now mana is not, can't take the decision, but it's first cognize, start thinking, shall I do it or shall I not? That is the condition, so we call it mana. English is mind, mind means the whole thing, but the first compartment is mana, and it cannot take decision, it only cognize, it only start thinking, the desire there. Now comes buddhi. The mana, buddhi. Buddhi is the determinative faculty, and it decides, and that is why it is so important. Why mind cannot decide, why buddhi can? Because on that buddhi, on that particular portion of mind, the reflection of the consciousness fall. That is the reason. So when I say I, it is nothing but that reflection of the consciousness. If I understand this clearly, that I am nothing but the reflection of the pure consciousness, which is known as the self or the consciousness, Chaitanya or the Brahman, our journey ends, spiritual journey ends over there. Only to understand this, the reflection of the consciousness on my intellect, and that creates I sense, and this I is nothing but ego. So what is the ego? The reflection that is on my consciousness, reflection of the consciousness on my buddhi, the little consciousness, and that is called the ego. And because of this ego, the I, it desires. So one after another, now up to this, that we have come to know the vibration of the Maya, that is the desire. And desire is generated from the ego. And the ego is the reflection of the pure consciousness on my intellect. Ahamkara, this is I am the master. Aham bhokta, I am the enjoyer. Where from it aham comes? From that reflection. I generates desire. Then the result, when the desire is generated, desire is there, vasana, and naturally it goes to the objects and try to grab that objects, try to hold that objects, try to get the enjoyment from that objects. Again and again it is going, and then it is frustrated, it's not getting the full satisfaction, and then again it is trying. There's sometimes some people, they say, human being are never become satisfied, because that is their true nature. A human being can never become satisfied with the worldly objects, never ever. Sometimes some people think that if we could grab that property or this land or that country or this wealth, we will be fine. No, you never. Never. One can never become happy with that. So whatever may be the wealth it is there, it cannot be, one cannot be happy. Now those who are possessing, that they were possessing the one diamond only, is nothing. But they give the name Kohinoor, and they started thinking, people started writing, oh, the great Kohinoor, it is on this and that. Then so many kings, they were vying for that, they were fighting for that, and ultimately the Britishers took it to the Great Britain, and it is there in the London. People can go and see it, and what is there? Nothing but a stone, a glittering stone, and nothing there. Only we are thinking it is great, it is costly. And suppose someday we start thinking of the whole humanity, they say it is nothing. It will be nothing. So it is only a stone, a glittering stone, and nothing else. Who is giving the value? We. then who is hankering for that? We. And then who is fighting? We. And who is suffering? We. So it goes on like this and nothing else. So that is called the vibration of Maya. The one king was going and maybe for hunting in the jungle. He found a monk is sitting and a very humble. His seat is also all torn and his clothes almost nothing was there. He was sitting and meditating. Then the king told, oh, the poor man, okay, I will give him something. So he took out 2 bangles, very costly, the gold and on that so many jewelries and other. So it gave to the monk and said, sir, this is very costly thing. Keep it over here, and with this you can purchase anything you like. It's a very costly thing. And he left. And the monk was meditating, something happened, maybe a squirrel came, maybe something happened, and one bangle started rolling, and there was a river in front. It went and fell in the water of the river. The monk was looking, but he never stopped it or do anything. In the evening time when the king was coming back, and he saw that only one bangle, he was curious. He asked, Holy Sir, what is this is only one? Where is the other one? He took the one which was there and threw it in the water and said, it fell over there. Same thing. One is thinking it is very costly, another is thinking it is useless. Same thing. So that means the Maya that creates desire in the mind of one, and also the Maya may be absent, absolutely absent in the mind of other. That is the opportunity. That is the chance. If the Maya was completely permanent, then all this discussion was futile. It was not necessary. So it says, no, vasana vriddhata karyam, karya vriddhya cha vasana, vardhate sarvada pumsa, samsaro nanivartate. Again, the Vivek Chudamani 313 sloka, Shankaracharya, the Shankara took all these things, and in the Vivek Chudamani, that is a beautiful book, he describes all this. By the increase of the selfish work, vasana vriddhate karyam. What is that work? Selfish work. Unselfish work, that is always good. So every time anything is having 2 different results. Why? How it is possible? Same thing I am doing. I am giving some food to a poor person, but that action will bind me. If I give that food with ego, hey, poor man, come over here, kneel down before me, beg from me, and I will give you the food. That same action, giving the food, but that will bind. Why? Because of my mental attitude. Another person will come and he will say, sir, are you hungry? Can I offer you some food? I'll be so happy if you please take. He is also offering the food, but the mental attitude, the mental condition is completely different. So who is creating the result? I am creating the result. How? By just thinking. Friends, we have to understand this very well. Swami Vivekananda said, you are the maker of your own destiny. How? I am making my own destiny because of my thought. Actions are all right, almost the same thing, same action. But the action that is a completely, when a subject, a philosophy that we are teaching, when a monk is teaching, he's only he must think, the monk should think, a holy person should think in this way. Then I am trying to spread the positive thoughts among the people. Maybe someone will take it. and it will be very beneficial to him. Oh God, please help me so that I myself can understand it and can help others also to understand that. That is his attitude. A professor, when teaching the same subject, he will think whether these talks are going to be recorded, whether it is going to be published, and that, so many things. And the book will be published. People should appreciate. A tremendous ego. I have seen some professors, tremendous ego. What they are doing, they are actually from this book and that book, they are compiling and publishing, and they are thinking. They are not original thinkers even. To think of the rishis who were original thinkers, and they collected all this truth and recorded and never mentioned their names. Majority of them, almost all of them, they dedicated in the name of the Vedavyasa. That's of course creating some confusion how the Vedavyasa can do so much. All people they did but dedicated. Why? They never wanted the name and fame, and never wanted the people should remember them. Nothing. Why? Because this world is temporary. This world is temporary, and I want my name to be permanent there. That is really very peculiar thinking. So Shankaracharya is telling, by the increase of selfish work, one increases desire, and by increasing desires, one increases selfish work. That way the world of entanglement goes on. It never ceases. Vasana briddhata karyam. Vasana desires, it increases karyam. What type of work? Selfish work. Work for name and fame. Work for myself. Karya briddha cha vasana. Again that work will increase my desire. And vardhate sarvada pumsa. And in the human mind it goes on increasing. And by that way samsaro nanivartate. And the samsara will never cease. So that we can understand when we look at this, when we see this. When we were young, we used to think in that, oh, this is so good, if I can have this, if I can have that. So all these desires. When matured, when the elderly, when you can see through the experience, the life after becoming, say, 60, 70, lot of experiences. And from there we can understand, oh, these are all useless. But still we can see, again a group of young people are doing like that. So from that point of view we can say, oh, this is not necessary. Some people may listen, some people may not. But a experienced person must say that. That's why the rishis, they are telling like this again and again. This is the vasana, this is the desire. So desire is coming. Now again, the second chapter, 13th verse, here the Rishi Vasistha is telling, Mana sampadyate tasmat mahata paramatmanaha. Now we discussed about the mind. Mind is the cause. Susthirat asthira akaram taranga eva varide. Mana sampadyate tasmat mahata paramatmanaha susthirat asthira akaram taranga eva varide. Mind, mana, which is by default restless, asthira. Why? Because of the desires. So mind, by default restless, is born sampadyate from tasmat, extremely calm, shusthirat, mahata, vast, Supreme Brahman, Supreme Self, Parama Atmanaha. This is very peculiar. Paramatma, which is a calm, completely calm, extremely calm, Shu Sthira. Sthira means calm. Su means extremely. So Su Sthira, extremely calm, that Paramatma, out of that mind is created. And what is the mind? It's very austere. Asthira akaram. I saw a mother in Purulia. She came with a hardly 5 or 6 years old boy, and the boy was so naughty, can't sit in one place, all the time running here, running there. But the mother is very quiet and calm. She was looking at the child and she was telling, I can't control him, Swamiji. I can't control him. But the child, so the Swami, the senior Swami, he quoted, see, out of a very calm mind and so much the all asthira, that is completely restless mind has been born. It is possible. Why? The calm mind of the mother because of her work, restless mind of the child because of her past work. Now that is the reason it says, how it is possible? Taranga iba baride, giving the example. It is like the taranga, that is the waves, in the water body, maybe in the ocean or a big lake. How it is? Because of the air. And what is that air? It is actually comparing the desires. The restless mind is created out of calm Supreme Self. The question is how? Desires. Like the wind that creates ripple in the calm ocean, so desires create the same thing in the mind. Mind is created from the Supreme Self. Supreme Self or the Brahman is changeless. Now the question, how from one which is changeless, calm, something which is restless can be created? Then example is giving, calm ocean becomes choppy because of the wind. And similarly, calm mind becomes restless because of the desire. Now control the desire, mind will be calm. Why all this discussion? This line. If we can control our desires, then the mind will be calm. Many people, they like to learn meditation. Why? They are not happy. The mind is thinking so many negative things. It's very painful. And to go beyond that, they think that meditation will help. Of course, meditation will help. But what is that meditation? Nothing but getting freedom from the desires. Meditation, in the beginning they teach that you should take up an object and concentrate your mind on that object. And by that way you can meditate. What is that? You are not thinking anything else, but you are thinking. What you are thinking? Only one object, maybe a god, maybe a flower, maybe something which you love most. The moment you are thinking, your whole mind will go to that. So you have to take that object and concentrate on that. You are thinking, but you are not thinking anything else. And that is why they always say when you are meditating, your object should be God. Why? Because you are thinking of the God which is nothing but the positive, which is love, which is unselfishness, which is peace, which is joy, happiness. So if you choose that object, you will get the result of those. But if you are choosing something else, you will get the result of that particular thing. It may not be good. Once again, the worldly objects, if you think of, it will be again the problem, and it can't give you the peace, joy. So it says that the desire, if you are free from the desire, so now the desire are two types. One desire, that is to realize God, and the second desire, that is to enjoy the worldly objects. The first desire, that is Ishvara Vasana, I like to realize God, Ishvara Vasana, that gives us mukti. And the second, Bhoga Vasana, that gives us bandhan, that is, bind us. Thought of having happiness or peace by enjoying worldly objects is like expecting water in a mirage. We can never get it. Friends, I need not to explain this. The majority of us who are now little aged and we have the experience, we have seen that we were thinking when we were young that if I can get this, I'll be happy. And then the other things will be happy. Nothing. If you look at the lives of the so-called the established people in the society, look at their life. They got the name, they got the fame, they got the money, they got all other comforts, but still not happy. Then how to get the happiness? That proves the worldly object cannot make us happy. That is for sure. Worldly object can never make us happy. So we are thinking that we'll be happy, but it's a sort of a satisfaction, because that satisfies the ego. I wanted that particular object and I have achieved that object, that satisfies my ego, and that satisfaction, I think that is my happiness. And if something else comes better than that, again this will go, the satisfaction will break, and I will try to get that again. So in the history we find in the lives of the kings, unsatisfied, constantly running for something which they never could get. So that is the joy, that is the happiness, that is their permanency. Nothing. But the Buddha gave up, and he was the prince. He gave up his kingdom, he gave up everything, and he got everything. Sab chhode, sab paave, in Hindi they say. If you give up everything, you get everything. What is that? The happiness. What is that? Everything. That is the joy, that is the happiness. When one become monk, and what is the goal? Why we are becoming monk or a nun? Someone, even in the household also, there are so many people. They try to realize God, and they are trying very hard, but still they are not getting this. The why? Because even a monk or a nun or a person who is trying to realize the God, not getting success because they are not understanding this. What is that understanding? From the world we won't get anything. So this, it says like this: objects are temporary, hence delusive. Sri Shankaracharya has drawn a very clear picture about this in his Bhaja Govindam. Charpat Panjarika Stotram, then Mohamudgara. Shankaracharya, he has tried his best to do all this Mohamudgara. In the Bhaja Govindam, he is a Vedantin, but he is also asking people to pray for the Govinda. Govinda is that God who knows our mind. So that is Govinda. It says, Bhaja Govinda, Bhaja Govinda, Govindam Bhaja Mudhamate. O human, remember God as true, and don't be deluded by the worldly objects. Mudhamate. Then he is giving lot of examples. I am quoting one example. Yavat bittu parjana shakta stavat nija paribara rakta paschadhavati jara jara dehe vartam prichati kopi nagehe bhaja govindam bhaja govindam. Govindam bhaja mudhamati. As long as you can earn money, jabat bittu uparjana shakta, tabat nija parivara rakta. And that long, all your friends and relatives, all people will be attached to you. They will be coming and asking, how are you, sir? But paschadhabati jara jara dehe. When you will not have the money, then maybe you are chasing them, going at their back and asking, hey, can you please help me? Can you please talk to me? Kopi na gehe bhartam prichhati. They will never ask, how are you? So that is the truth. It happens. If we see in this world, if we read the newspapers, if we listen to the news, what is happening? These only, everywhere. But still we don't like to learn. Why? That is the waves of Maya. The waves of Maya constantly going on giving this delusion in us. As long as one earns and has wealth, relatives and friends are with him. So Rishi Vasistha says that this samsara is your imagination. Your mind is imagining in millions ways and creating this universe. It exists in your awakened state. And this awakened state, we know that there are three states, the Vedantin always say. That is, one is Jagrat, awakened state, then Swapna, in the dream state, and Susupti, dreamless condition. Though these are the three states. And we always think, well, in the dream state we are dreaming, we can understand that is not true. But Susupti we don't know because we don't have any experience over there. But the Jagrat we always take as true, as real. And that's why in the Jagrat only we are thinking, oh, I understand, I can do it, I have realized it. This way we talk. Aham, 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 Ahamkarta. I am the master, I know it. And in that condition, in the Jagrat condition, what happened? The Rishi says, Yat swayam swairam eva ashu sankalpayoti nittasha tena iyam indrajala sri jagrati prabhitanyate. The second chapter, 14th verse of the Yoga Vasistha Sara. It says, Yat, that. What is that? Mind. Sankalpayati nittashaha. Always imagining. Sankalpayati nittashaha. Those who try to meditate, they understand it. Constantly different type of other thoughts are also coming. I am trying to meditate on some object, but you will never find success. Why? Immediately the moment you sat for meditation, the thought of your child will come, thought of your office will come, thought of your this, thought of your, immediately so many things will come. But other time, when you are just watching a movie or the TV, those thoughts are not there. But the moment you are trying to calm down your mind, so this comes. Yat swayam, that mind, swayam itself, sankalpayati nittasha, always imagining. And that is the condition, jagrati, in your waking state. That time you are physically, mentally, you are completely alert. Even then you are deceived by your mind. You means all of us. All of us are deceived by our mind. Mind is the storehouse of our all actions and thoughts. So we were discussing the mind has 4 compartments: mana, buddhi, chitta and ahamkara. Ahamkara, the ego, that is the last, that is the prathama, that is the first thing. And this before that, it is the chitta. What is the chitta? It is the storehouse. And the Hindus, the Buddhists, and the original Christians, they also used to believe about the karma phala. So they had a symbol of the peacock. Peacock was the symbol of the karma phala. But then afterwards, after 500 years of Jesus, I think, they changed this because they could not explain, etc., whatever. So that is the, each and all religion, they are believing about the karma phala. Otherwise, you cannot answer why a person right from the birth is happy, enjoying. Another child born at the same time in a poor family, why it is suffering? And the poor family will have the child. That is the different answer. Why the child was not born, that particular soul was not born in a happy family, in a rich family. Why? There must be some reason. Any action, there must be some cause. Cause and action goes together. There is no cause, there is an action, it cannot be. So that is why it says, we are going on thinking, where from the thoughts are coming. Not only the actions that we do in this life, but also the actions that we have already done, experiences that we have already gathered in our previous lives. All are there. And from there, sankalpayati, that is the store from the it comes. Life after life we have accumulated, so that is coming. Those impressions comes out in our waking state and create this world. Maitrayani Upanishad, it says in the 4th chapter 11th verse, Maitrayani, it is also explaining the same thing in a very poetical way. And many of us, we know. Mana eva manushyanam karanam bandha mokshaya baddhaya vishaya shaktam mukto nirvishayam visham. But that's all. Only two, when the mind goes to the objects of these worldly things, which are temporary, which can never give us permanent happiness, the peace, the joy, but that creates again the activity, and that activity is another desire for to achieve something like that. It goes on. Just now we had discussed about that. So mono eva manushyanam karanam bandha mokshaya. And we blame God. All the time we are blaming the God, but we do not know what we have done in our past life. So that is the why Vivekananda, he said, I bless my failures, I bless my sufferings, because they gave me the knowledge so that I am in this condition. I couldn't quote the exact Swami Vivekananda's words, but I bless my failures and my sufferings. So when we are suffering, we must know that something I did sometime, and this is a terrible thing. Now, from now onwards, I am not going to give this to anyone. So that is mono eva manushyanam. The mind, our minds are the cause of our bondage, liberation. When it thinks about and get attached to the sense objects, it leads us to the bondage. Baddhaya vishaya shaktam. So this is one. And second, mukto nirvishayam visham. When free from the desire, it causes liberation. So that is the main idea. So we are studying this Yoga Vasistha. We are studying different scripture. Why? In general we say the blessings of God. Sometimes we say God realization. But in reality we like to be free from this suffering. What is this suffering? The death and birth, birth and death. And that goes on. In the 6 different ways it goes on. Jayate, asti, vardate, viparniyamate, vipakshate, mriyate. It goes on. It is so terrible. When it's born, that is also the suffering. So many months you have to be in the womb of the mother. Then it is born. Then you are completely depending on someone who will care you, give you food and that. Slowly you are growing up, then decaying, then you are getting the death. The death is also painful. So where is the joy? Right from the birth till the death, where is the joy? Sometimes only when I am thinking that I am getting my desired object and I am happy, you are imagining that also may not be that way true. God bless you, be happy, but ultimately from the circle of this birth and death, if we like to go out, we have to understand only one thing that we have to do. We should be completely free from the attachment of the worldly objects. And those, right, that desire, the strong, that mind, we should turn towards God. So desires, Ishvara Vasana. It should not be Vasana. Vasana means desire. The Ishvara Vasana, I should realize God, I should have God. That should be the Vasana. Thank you, friends, for this time. And then in the next Sunday we will discuss what the teachings of the Yoga Vasistha. Is there any?
So the first question is from Sagnik. He is asking how to kill our bad habits and fill our hearts with wisdom, that our life has endless desires to fulfill. We feel the peace, joy, greatness.
What is the name you said?
S-A-G.
Shagni.
Shagni.
Shagni is a very good question. But this, Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, he said, though we say it is in a simple way, when you are reading, we are saying, if instead of giving the mind to the Vishaya, to the objects, you give it to the God, as if nothing. And it is, you'll just ask the mind, hey, don't be attached to the objects. It is not so easy. That is the goal, but to achieve that goal, we have to do what? First, we have to listen. And then when we are listening, so that is called Sravana. In the Vedanta, there are 3 steps: Sravana, Manana, Nididhyasana. Sravana means you have to hear from your Guru, hear from the scripture, hear from the holy people, and then go on analyzing. And you have to go on increasing. You have to pressurize your mind. Sometimes in the examination also, the students, they are going on pressurizing the mind. I have to study, I have to understand these. They will be noting down, they will be consulting the professors, they will be discussing with their friends, and whole mind is on that. They don't like to give that mind the time anywhere. The same way, we have to go on listening, reading, understanding, discussing about God. And that positive thing, we must go on thinking in that way. Ultimately, when our mind is that way going, the first is Sravana, then Manana, constantly going on thinking, and Nididhyasana. And to the last stage will become, you are transformed into that condition. That is the only way.
The next question is from Tanya Goa. She is asking, who gets liberated then? Does that mean that the mind gets liberated?
That is also a very good question, Tanya. It is not the mind that gets liberated. Actually, the mind is also an imagination. Just imagination breaks. And the original becomes original. So example, when we dream and we are bound somewhere, some people are torturing us, we are not getting food, We are so hungry. All these things are going on. And we are thinking that we will be dying after a few days because it is so terrible. Suddenly someone calls you and your dream breaks. What happened? You are in your own soul. Exactly same thing happened. This is also, we are passing through a dream. And this mind, this cognition, this desire, this maya, everything will be over if by the grace of the Supreme we can break this dream which we are dreaming awake. So when that will be broken, what will happen? You will go back to your original source. What is that source? Well, that cannot be explained because it is a very, very subjective experience. Only one who has realized can realize. Thank you.
The next question again from Sagnik is saying, how to be cheerful in this stressful period?
Cheerful, the positive thinking, Sagnik. You have to think. So many things happen in the life. But if you go on thinking and praying to God, things will be really, really beneficial. Two examples I will give. One is the life of Aurobindo Ghosh. He was imprisoned and he was in a cell. Nobody could talk to him. Nobody could see him. You can imagine the terrible life. Only they used to send the food plate under the door, that much. Then Aurobindo, in the beginning, he was really perturbed and he was thinking, if it continues, I am going to lose my mind, I am going to be mad. Then he himself suggested to himself, oh, why should I think in this way? Rishis, they used to go to a secluded place. They never used to see the faces of others. They never wanted to talk, only to control their mind. And I got this opportunity in a secluded place. Nobody is coming before me. Why I am thinking negatively? Let me utilize this isolation in a positive way. And he started meditating. And through that, they say that Swami Vivekananda also helped because of the very good desire to control all the good minds. They go and teach slowly, slowly. Aurobindo Ghosh entered into the jail. Rishi Aurobindo came out from the jail. That happened. So this is possible. And secondly, I don't think that I am praising myself. When I went to Andaman, and that condition was really, really very green condition. There was no money, there was no people. But we started thinking, what is the problem? Beautiful ocean, and of course there are some snakes and other things are there. The food was not there, but many other good things are there. So positively I started thinking. I went over there in 1992 or 91, so I started thinking that way. No money in the bank, no food in the store, 50 orphan boys. So you can imagine, even at that time, I used to have the complete faith in the God. Mother will send something, and I used to think that positively we'll make a beautiful ashram over here, and that truly by the grace of the Mother happened. Those who have visited Andaman, they know. So positively, if you can think that I am going to learn something when I am here in the room, I like to learn some maybe tabla playing or the songs or drawing or these, that, so many things we can do. At least meditation we can do. That will help. Thank you.
The next question is from top 10. He's saying, Maharaj, in your brahmacharya state, what was your schedule, if you can say shortly? For a young man, difficulty is to overcome physical lust. Even Thakur says, is it possible to attain absolute truth without it?
Yes, all the brahmacharis, in the particularly Ramakrishna tradition, we have a routine. From the Belur Math, they send a list of books that you should read, And those are the begins of the life of Sri Ramakrishna, the biography of Mother and the Swami Vivekananda, then their works, then the Bhagavad Gita and some of the Upanishads, then slowly, almost all these scriptures. And every morning you have to get up half an hour before the sunrise, one should get up, and then after the ablution, one should meditate at least for 1 hour. And then in the noon time, before the lunch, if it is possible, those who are working, of course, they won't be, but if there is time, then a little, maybe 15 minutes or half an hour, again meditation and taking the name of God. And in the evening again, that 1 hour or 2 hours meditation, and before going to bed, another half an hour. So almost 4 hours you are doing the japa and meditation. 4 hours you are studying. And this is 8 hours. And 8 hours you are working. Working maybe in the offices to earn some money to maintain the family, or as for us, for the asrama. So 4 hours meditation and japa, and 4 hours study, and 8 hours, and 8 hours working, and the balance 8 hours, it is yours. We are sleeping and doing this and that, all that. So that is the way, if you can make the 24 hours a routine, you will never feel that you are lonely. And a time will come, maybe few years, if you can continue, then a calmness will come, confidence will come, and within you will feel a joy all the time, every moment.
The next question is from Srima Vishwa. She is asking, what is mind?
Mind, as I told, it is very difficult to explain. The mind is the all different type of thoughts that we accumulate, and that is the mind. About the mind, there's a lot, many discussions are there, and the books are also there, seminars were also made in that. But the mind, in one word we can say, this is the all the impressions that we collected and is collecting, those coming in the thought form, that is the mind.
The next question is from Sagnik again. He is asking why humans are so obsessed about materialistic things. Why is it so much necessary to be happy?
So that is, of course, we should not go on changing the whole world. It is not possible. The creation of the God is like this. We should be careful about my own mind. Whether he is not doing or she is not doing, or this person or that person, if we go on doing that, we will never reach anywhere. It is very, very subjective. The religion is very subjective. Maya is there, and it is deluding. What I can do, I can only remove or break my Maya. I cannot remove the Maya of my mother, of my father, of my son, of my wife. No, I cannot. So religion means a very, very subjective experience. So Shagnik, I will request you, if you are sincere, don't bother about others. Let them do what they do. You better concentrate to break this chain of Maya.
The next question is from Tuhin Kana. The question is, thank you Maharaj, got the answer of my question from previous class, but how to control our minds to know the true nature of an object?
Tuhin, this is only thing that in the same question Arjuna asked to Sri Krishna, and the answer, that is the eternal answer the Lord gave, that is Abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagyena cha grihate. Abhyasa and vairagya, these are the two things. Again and again and again, regularly, as a routine that just I said, make a routine and try to follow the routine regularly. And through the abhyasa, because of the constant, this thing, you will be completely free. That is the only way.
So the next question is from Prasad Dixit. He's asking, as a family person, all the work that I do with a desire for betterment of my family, which includes earning more money, is this desire of earning money good? Many times it is not a joyful experience.
No, that is also, you are doing your swadharma. The Dikshit ji, you are doing your sadharma, you are trying to earn money. This question was asked, the same type of question was asked by Master Mahashaya, the recorder of Sri Ramakrishna conversation, to Sri Ramakrishna. Sri Ramakrishna said, no, you must try to earn money for the betterment of your own family, because you are a householder. But be careful, the money should be earned in a proper way. Not the black money or cheating others, not like that. So you should try and be satisfied by that. That is your sadharma as a grihi.
The next question is from Hima Bindu. She is asking how to meet departed souls.
Srimanji, I won't be able to tell that. Hima, that I don't know. There are some people, they say it is possible to meet the departed soul. Then you can pray for them. That will be all right.
And then Srima Viswas is again asking, why can't we control our mind?
The Srimaji, because of our desires, that is and to go beyond the desire, we have to go on practicing. First we have to listen. That's why Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna said, Sadhu Sangha, Nirjan Bash, Vichar and Prarthana. First you have to have the Sadhu Sangha and hear about the truth. Then you have to go to a quiet place, Nirjan Bash, and then go on thinking, pondering over that. Then finally you have to meditate on that and pray. That is the
next question is from Vijayashree. She is asking, what is a good book for beginners to understand the way to live?
Good book for the beginners to understand how to live. So see, this is what I would suggest. Better you go for the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. This is a very good book. Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. If you read slowly, you will understand. But at the same time, Ma Sharadamani Devi's biography by Swami Gambhirananda. All these books are available with us. And if you go on reading that book, you will find so many inspiration through their words and their life. Okay. Thank you. Let us say Shanti 3 times. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Harihi Om Tat Sat.